Hot Mic is brought to you by Red Wing Shoes of Fargo. Built to last. 3003 Main Avenue, Fargo.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Good Wednesday morning. We start our show with a thriller last night in the play-in tournament. The Hornets and the Heat. Controversy in the second quarter when LaMelo Ball drives. Bam Adebayo goes down. Watch again. LaMelo pulls him down. Bam left. Didn't come back because of a back injury. This game was wild. Kobe White drains a three with 10 seconds to go. Ties the game at 114. We go to overtime. It's 121 to 118. Charlotte. Miles Bridges passes up the three. Up and under for the finish. Charlotte up by 5. Heat aren't done. Duncan Robinson, former played in Sioux Falls, was awfully good. Drains a corner three. Now it's down to 2. Charlotte then can't inbound the ball, and they turn it over. They have a chance. Tyler Hero with it. Dribbles into the corner, launches a three, and he's fouled. What are you doing? So Hero gets 3 free throws. He's made the first 2. This gives Miami the lead with 8 seconds to go. Charlotte calls timeout. They get to inbound the ball. They give it to LaMelo, who probably shouldn't be in the game. Drives and scores, and Charlotte's up. Miami has no timeouts. One last chance to try to win it. Davion Mitchell is rejected by Bridges, and Charlotte wins it 127 to 126 in overtime. That means the Hornets are still alive. They have to play now the loser of the game tonight between Philadelphia and Orlando. The Heat are done. Miami's season ends. A heartbreaker there. So the other play-in game tonight, the winner of that is the 7 seed between the Magic and the Sixers, and will play Boston. The loser will play the Hornets coming up on Friday night. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference, last night was another thriller between Portland and Phoenix. The Blazers went on the road and won 114 to 110. So Portland is the 7 seed. They will play San Antonio in the opening round of the NBA playoffs. Phoenix isn't out. Now the Suns will play the winner of the game tonight between Golden State and the Clippers. That's the late game. The loser of that is done. And the winner of that on Friday becomes the 8 seed and gets to be the sacrificial lamb for the Thunder to start the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, they begin Saturday. If you were still awake last night at 10 o'clock, the NBA decided to announce the first round playoff schedule. So now we know when the Wolves will play the entire series with Denver. Game 1 we know is coming up on Saturday on Amazon Prime. Game 2, I told you, 9:30 on NBC. NBC, fantastic, okay? It's network television. 9:30, not great. Game 3 in Minneapolis will be a week from tomorrow. It's an 8:30 start on Amazon Prime. And then Game 4 will be on WDAY a week from Saturday when you get the NFL draft done, right? You've consumed all 7 rounds of the draft, and then you get to watch the Wolves play on WDAY that Saturday night at 7:30, with then Game 5 back in Denver with a time yet to be determined. So Saturday afternoon and next Thursday, we got 2 Amazon Prime games. We We got NBC and ABC for games. And this is probably a larger topic to get to as we welcome you to the show here. Good morning, everybody, on the 15th day of April. We're halfway through the month already, which is crazy. I am Dom Izzo, host of said show. Great to be with everyone. That the fans of the NBA now are going to be able to consume it in a much different way. You know, we're so used to TNT having 2 games a night, maybe NBA TV getting a game. Now, I watched the Hornets Heat game. I watched the end of it. It was fantastic. You got Ian Eagle doing the game, so you're already winning there. Kevin Harlan did the late game last night. There was an issue I noticed, at least on my television, and I thought it was maybe my internet connection, where the sound is just ahead of the actual play. And then I saw that was not unique to my house. So that's something Amazon's got to work on. They actually had the old technical difficulties full screen come up, which is equivalent to the blue screen of death. That's not good. They do such an amazing job. They do a really good job with NFL. The football on Thursday night is really good. The broadcasts are. This is my first real time sinking in and watching their broadcast for getting ready for the Wolves game on Saturday. It looks good. Sound is fine. It just is ahead of the play. Something that they'll get the servers, reset them or something that they'll have to work on. But there you have it. We know the opening 4 games for the Wolves and Denver starting on Saturday. A lot to get to today. We are packed. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day outside. We're getting set for we got Bison softball coming up later today, which we'll tell you about later on in the show, as NDSU will be hosting St. Thomas. We've got the doubleheader coming up for you here on Extra later this afternoon. So we'll be up at Therrelton Park for that. We'll give you all the details on that coming up later on in our show. Before we get to the Twins here and unpack the rest of our show, a quick word, shout out. The amount of people that reached out over the last couple days who were watching our show, and obviously off the hijinks mess that's going on at Shanley, was really heartwarming. Because I heard from people I haven't heard from in a long time. I've heard from people that normally watch the show as well. So appreciate that. I think for people that are new to it, that maybe saw the clips that went semi-viral over the last couple days, that we've been doing this for almost 7 years. And I would like to think people understand that we're going to do those kind of stories. We're going to talk about them. We're going to try and get to the truth on what went down. So I appreciate everybody that has reached out, and including the comments we got that are not so nice. I appreciate people watching. That's the bottom line on that. Okay, here is, I don't know if I'm ready to offer my full mea culpa yet on the Minnesota Twins, because we've played all of 18 games, and we still have 148 to go, or whatever the math is, 144 to go. I will say this. They are at least having fun when they play. Derek Shelton's got them in a very loose mood. They're pitching out of their mind, which I did not see coming, and they're just kicking the you-know-what out of teams. They are ready to sweep Boston. If you would have told me as we get ready for the back half of April and the Twins are playing 18 games at Target Field, that Minnesota would have swept the Tigers and potentially sweep the Red Sox, I would have given you probably my next 2 paychecks. There's no way I would have seen that coming. But that's where they're at. Last night, they did it again to Boston. Mick Abel was fantastic last night. For some reason, not pictured in our highlights, so I'll have to tell you about it. Luke Keeschall started things with an RBI single off former Twin great Sonny Gray. They call Buxton out. And I mean, it's not even close, honestly. When you watch the replay, he's in. To me, I thought he was safe when you saw it live. They overturn it, 1-0 Minnesota. Start of a huge night for Buxton. Remember, he hit the home run on Monday to become the all-time leader in home runs at Target Field history. Last night, he added 2. That one a tank, 400 feet into the second deck and left. Brooks Lee has become like Hank Aaron here over the last 4 games. This is belted to right for a home run. It's 3-0 off former Twin great Sonny Gray, who struggled in his 4 innings of work, allowed 9 hits and 5 runs. Twins weren't done in the 4th inning. Trevor Larnach laces one down to the right field corner. Tristan Gray and Buxton will come in to score. Larnach was out trying to stretch that into a double. It's a 5-0 Minnesota lead through 4. How about one more Buxton tank? This is hammered even further. And this one is, you hit it there, you got it. 438-foot shot, 6-0 Twins. Again, Mick Abel, not pictured, was phenomenal. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, and struck out 10 on the mound last night to get his first win as a Twin. Minnesota keeps it going. They've won 8 of 9. 6-0 final last night over the Red Sox. They've taken the first 2. So, again, they swept Detroit. They took 2 of 3 from Toronto. Now they've won 2 more against Boston. Red Sox, by the way, 6-11. Like my Mets, they stink right now. Abel was great. They go for the sweep this afternoon. Little matinee baseball on a Wednesday is one of my favorite things. And one of my favorite pitching names goes for Boston. Connolly Early, the lefty, will go for Boston. Simeon Woods-Richardson on the mound looking for his first win for Minnesota just after 12:30 at Target Field. Day off, and then the Cincinnati Reds come to town. Again, it is April 15th, so we're halfway through the first month of the season. But it is a pleasant surprise in how this team has played. There's no doubt. You just tip their cap to them and say, hey, can you keep it up? Pitching-wise, they've been fantastic here through the first 18 games of the season. So we're very early still in the baseball season. The hockey season is done, at least for the regular season, for the Minnesota Wild. Last night, they played their 82nd game with the Ducks in town. And Minnesota doesn't lose to Anaheim. Last night, the Wild were going for an 8th straight win and a 20th out of 22nd victory against, and granted, the Ducks have been bad for a while. Anaheim actually is going to the playoffs for the first time, and gosh, I have to look. It's been a bit. But doesn't matter. The Wild keep on beating them. And last night, Minnesota held a bunch of guys out because they already know they're locked in to their playoff spot. The Ducks were actually playing for playoff positioning. Minnesota scores first. Danila Yurov scores his second goal in as many games. Here's a big one. Hunter Height called up from Iowa. That's his first National Hockey League goal. Makes it a 2-1. Actually pronounced hate. It's 2-1. That's a heck of a shot, by the way. A little upper 90. Wild weren't done. Robbie Fabry scores down low. Again, who are these guys we're playing? The Wild's benched 11 of their main guys. Kaprizov didn't play, all their heavy hitters, because why would you do that? That one barely gets over the goal line. That made it 3-1. They win it 3-2 to wrap up the regular season. Again, they open the playoffs this weekend against Dallas. That wasn't the highlight of the night. For some reason, I only saw this online. I was not watching live because there was nothing at stake. But I saw this on my Twitter feed that during the first period, Jesper Wallstedt started in goal last night for Minnesota. And shout out to the Bally crew because they caught wind of this during the first period that they got a shot. You'll see it here of his name is spelled wrong. It's spelled like the actual phonetic way you would pronounce it. Stead. I think maybe I didn't. Yeah, I said this is actual video here because you can see he played the whole first period like this. He said afterwards that it was a prank because literally they had somebody at the hockey lodge at the Xcel Energy Center, because that's how you're supposed to spell it there, Sted. They changed it during the first intermission and had it corrected for the rest of the game. That is now the lingering question this morning is what in the world happened to have his jersey spelled incorrectly? I mean, that just doesn't happen unless somebody's doing it on purpose to mess around with. It was hilarious. And like I said, during the second intermission or first intermission before the start of the second period at the Hockey Lodge, they literally got the nameplate printed out there to put on the back of his jersey. Like, it was literally what fans wear to go to games. Again, you go to a game, you never know what's going to happen. Something like that. But he's my guy. If no one's asking my opinion, but if they go to the playoffs here, he's the starting goaltender. Gustafsson has not looked good since the Olympics. I would go with the Wall of St. Paul. It's the best nickname ever, by the way, to start against the Stars. And roll your chances there. Let's see. We'll find out probably not till tomorrow night, much like the NBA did, the opening schedule round for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Either Saturday or Sunday, Minnesota's playing. We've heard potentially Saturday because, of course, why wouldn't both the Wild and Wolves play on the same day? So we'll pass it along once we get that later on in the week. We have a packed show coming up for you. Full guest lineup here on a Wednesday morning. Coming up just a few minutes, our guy Drew Trafton will join us. We're just over a week out from the NFL draft. We'll chat some latest rumors there and a few other topics with our guy Drew in just a couple minutes. At 9:35, you'll meet the latest Bison football committee. I mean latest because I don't even know if he's announced it yet. He might do it here at our show. From Watertown, South Dakota, Hunter Peterson will join us. Tight end prospect for the Arrows. That is a program that the Bison are familiar with. That's Spencer Wagee's former high school. Hunter will join us coming up at 9:35. At 10 o'clock, former North Dakota State running back and Cheyenne standout Barika Kpeenu will join us here in studio to chat about, we mentioned the draft is just over a week away. His name is circling out there as a potential late draft pick. He's going to get a shot somewhere, folks. We'll visit with Barika here. Excited about that in studio. And at 10:35, Mayville State's got a new women's basketball head coach. Jenna Bolstad will join us about taking over the Comets. That's coming up at 10:35. That and a heck of a lot more here in a busy hour and 40-some-odd minutes or so. So let's get it started. Hot Mike returns after this on WDAY Extra, KSFL, KMBN, and Inforum.com right after this.
The biggest Seahawks, Sounders, and Mariners fan in the FM area. It's time for Views with Drew.
Hello, Drew. How's it going, my man?
Good. How are you?
Well, you know, it's been a heck of a week.
Yeah, and it's Wednesday, right?
I know it. I've been kind of like, we had a Friday yet? Like, middle part of the week.
You're going viral all over the place.
We've had a little
man.
bit. It's been, you know what? It's been fun, but it comes with the territory, man. The power of this microphone has a way of bringing people out, I guess, is the best way to say
Absolutely.
it.
It's a community platform and one that needs to be, it's a good place to bring up issues and discuss issues and
all right, here's an issue I have because we're a week out from the draft. Why is there no buzz on the NFL draft? This is like a snooze fest.
Yeah, I think it has to do with just from last year on whatever day the draft ended until today, people saying this is not a great draft class. And that kind of bearing
quarterback,
out.
Yes.
Yeah, like the big positions that you're normally really excited about, like the quarterbacks, receiver to some extent, but even some of like those more like flashy, positions, there's just not a lot of juice there. Like this is from what I've gathered, this is a good like interior offensive line draft. Just like that's not going to get people to like turn on the TV necessarily. It's like, let's see this guy play guard. Let's see this 3-cone drill. It's going to be nuts, And so that I think that's part of it, right? And then, but to me, it's really intriguing because I don't know about you as a Jets fan. I don't know what the Jets are doing at 2.
Well,
do you?
First off, I'm 47 years old. I haven't known what the Jets have been doing for 46 years of my life.
That's the montage we show.
Correct. Every year I'll show that on draft day.
I love that.
No, I don't. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I certainly am.
Bailey, Reese.
I really want them to draft Arvell Reese. But, I mean, he's an edge. Like, I'm looking at Dane Brugler put out a full 7-round mock today. So after Mendoza, it's an edge, offensive lineman, edge, safety, the linebacker, running. Like Jeremiah Love, they have a running back at 7. And you'd figure, but running back isn't what it was 15 years ago in the NFL.
I mean, like you're kind of told. I mean, I think just the collective wisdom is like you don't spend first round capital
on a running back
on certain positions, and Sonny Styles, the linebacker they're talking about, and Jeremiah Love, like those two are kind of exceptions to the rule, just because of how talented they are.
Yeah.
But even in the top 10, it's like. Is that how it's going to go? Is a team going to trade up? Like, I mean, we've heard a lot of buzz about the Cowboys the last 24 hours.
That would make some spice for me on draft day or leading into it if there's a trade. But here's the thing also on this. Mendoza, we already knew was going to be the number 1 pick since January, 26th, the day after the national championship game.
Yes.
And then he said he's not going.
Yeah.
So that's a double whammy. It's like, okay, and that's fine. That's his prerogative. He wants to be with his family. But that doesn't add to any of the amp up for this. And I'm sure Pittsburgh is going to be rocking. They love their football, but this is a draft that's like, okay.
Yeah, and like we're not going to see another quarterback come off the board until day 2, probably. I mean, like I guess it's within the realm of possibility that someone trades up at the back end of round 1 to try to get Simpson, but I don't. It's like why? That's a big question too.
He does not have Simpson in his first round. He has he has Simpson going to the Cardinals at 34. So that's the second pick of the second round.
Yeah, which is, I mean, unless the only argument you can make about taking a quarterback at the end of round 1, I think would be the 5th-year option. Is that you want that extra year. And that could be something, especially if you're developing the guy. You might want that just to move up. It probably wouldn't cost a lot of capital to do it this year in the draft, but it's an interesting draft. Edge is a really deep position.
As is wide receiver. I'm looking Bryce Lance. He has the Falcons to the 79th pick, so that's the middle of the 3rd round. Where Bryce would go, which is about what we've heard.
Yeah, I mean you're going to need some stamina if you're sticking around to watch the draft this year because I mean there are a lot of really intriguing stories, especially locally, of course.
So pick 79 is what we're
that's
saying
3rd round.
So what time is that on Friday? A week from Friday. It's about Eric. What 9 o'clock?
Yeah,
9:30,
8:30, 9 somewhere around that realm. And
it's not like the Christian Watson draft.
No,
we were off the air. We were done early that night, or Cody Mauch for that matter.
Yeah, Zabel last year.
Yes.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Some of those later stories that develop and like those round 6, 7 guys will be interesting on Saturday, but it's like you just don't know when those are going to happen. In the NFL built so much around that first round and like the fireworks there.
Right. Here's the TV nerd in me though. I'm really interested, like going forward, how this looks on television now that ESPN owns the NFL Network. If there's definitely going to be separate broadcasts this year. Is that going to be the case going forward?
Yeah, like
are we
two desk teams.
Right. Are we going to see NFL Network people on ESPN going? Because Daniel Jeremiah is great.
Yeah,
but I don't watch the NFL Network broadcast. I watch the ESPN. I do. I've tuned in a little bit to the ABC one because that's the college version of it.
Yeah.
So you're going to do 3 separate broadcasts?
Yeah,
that would seem a bit much to me. And McAfee has his own thing, so honestly, it's 4. That seems like a lot.
Who do you kick off the host desk there? Because you have Rich Eisen.
I would get rid of Greenberg in a millisecond.
Sure.
Greenberg. I would replace him with Rich Eisen in a heartbeat. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And because that is tough. You really have 2 different. I do like having those options, and I watch them both too. Like I flip between the 2, where you have the college perspective.
And I like Reese Davis. I would even prefer Reese Davis doing the main NFL draft than Mike Greenberg. That's just my 2 cents.
And just split it. Or maybe you kind of do half and half. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Intrigued.
Because it is such a spectacle, and they make such a huge deal out of it. And it's fun if you it's not hard to get invested in these kids' stories when you tune into it. It's a good product for as slow as it is, and how it breaks every conventional rule of television these days.
Right. I would say
it works.
They're gonna have their work cut out for them this time around because there's just not.
They have to sell you on these stories.
It's not like a couple years ago when you had the 5 quarterbacks go or in the first 10 picks. Like the Vikings take a quarterback with McCarthy. Like there was. I mean, even for the Viking fans around here, okay, they're going to take a safety.
Yeah.
That's not sexy at all. It just isn't.
You know, and the other thing that they can bank on a little bit is I think you do have that intrigue of what happens at 2 and beyond. What does that do for the rest of the board? But also, what if a player gets traded, like in the middle of the round, which that's been brought up quite a bit too. Where
they gotta hope that happens.
Do you move a Max Crosby during the draft? Do you move somebody like that where it's where it's like you have this massive draft capital moving, and I think like if you're a long-term NFL fan or you're really into the draft, I think. To me, one of the most intriguing factors of this is the 2027 draft because that draft is seen as so deep at quarterback and a couple other positions that capital is going to be weighed very heavily. And so if these teams like the Dallas Cowboys or whomever who want to move up, it's going to be costly to them to have to do that, and if they have to spend next year's capital to get that done.
You had a note on the draft, Eric, you wanted to throw in after you were there last year in person in Green Bay. What's up?
A reminder, this year, rounds 2 through 7 is only 5 minutes, and then the first round is shorter as well. So
they went from 7 to 5, correct?
I think it was 8.
Okay.
So they're going 8 to 5, which
still going to take 4 hours to get done, though.
I mean, if they can get faster on the picks because they were on pick 6 on the board but hadn't had pick 3 announced on the stage. That was the whole problem.
That's interesting.
Is they were so far ahead. Like the Chargers were picking at 2, but they had announced their pick, and Seattle was already on the clock at 5, which is just insane.
I think it'd be really neat to do something where you get some. They'll show the war rooms for all the teams. But if they could give us some insight into the calls that are taking place, and I'm not talking about like, it could be as simple as like share the phone call, like the audio from the phone call. But I mean, the players would have to definitely be given a heads up, like, hey, you're going to be on national TV when you get the call.
Because they do put the calls out, but it's the next day.
It's the social media teams. And those are such great moments.
Yeah, we saw the Gray Zabel one last year was really cool.
And I love listening to when the teams release, and this is usually a couple years later, they'll release the audio of like trade conversations between the GMs. That is so
that
interesting.
Would spice it up. There's no doubt.
Really interesting. Or if you knew someone was on the phone, like you don't even have to like have the audio, but be like, this GM's on the phone right now. This GM's on the phone right now, and you don't know if they're calling Domino's Pizza or they're talking to like, Houston or something, and it's like, hey, we need to make this happen. It'd be kind of interesting.
I'll say this. We got to roll here, but the 2021, when it wasn't in person, it was in Goodell's living room.
Yeah.
They made that a TV spectacle. But granted, there was nothing going on at the time. Nothing happened. So if they can do it with that, I'm confident that it'll be entertaining a week from now.
The Jefferson draft selection was probably one of my favorite moments of like all time with drafting. Like that, you could just tell that they were like so thrilled.
They were pumped that they were going to get him. Yes.
That it panned out.
What the Commanders have released new uniforms. What's different about these?
I think it's
is
like
there
more,
anything new about it?
It's like a throwback look. Like it's kind of like that throwback look that they brought out last year. A little bit.
The one in the
with
middle with
Home and
Jane
Away.
Daniels there. I mean, that's
classic.
What's
like that.
different?
I think it's the stripe on the helmet in the numbering. Maybe?
Like the Titans did it right.
Yeah.
It's just become the Oilers and just be done with it.
Yeah.
This is... Tell me what's different about this. I'm not sure.
Is the W bigger on the helmet?
What's new about this, Eric? What do they do that I'm
So
not
if you look
noticing?
at the black one,
look
at the W. The spear's there. That was never there before.
Okay.
Oh, the spear, yeah.
So that's all brand new.
That's a cool look.
Were they allowed to do that? I thought that was supposed to go away when they got rid of the offensive nickname. That they weren't supposed to do that anymore. That's interesting. Huh.
That's a cool look.
That's all right.
It's better than like remember the original Washington Commander helmet, the black helmet with just like the little gold W in the front when Carson was their quarterback.
That's right. I forgot. That's right.
That was probably the worst NFL helmet.
It was not a good look
ever.
No.
Like by far.
We will bring you back next week. We got our mock draft coming up a week from tomorrow.
That's insane. Like that we're already there.
I'll just sit back and listen to you guys because I have no idea what to do in that.
I think these runs are going to be really interesting because it's like when one position starts to go. Like, I think edge especially, but like cornerback is kind of like that way too in this draft. And there are a couple big athletic safeties, and it's like, when do you pull the trigger on those guys?
No.
You know, that'll be kind of interesting.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by. We'll see you next week,
Yeah,
okay?
thanks for having me.
Drew Trafton joins us here to start our Wednesdays each and every time at 9:15. We'll break. We come back. We're heading to Watertown, South Dakota to meet NDSU's newest football commit. You'll meet Hunter Peterson when Hot Mike returns here on a Wednesday morning. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Wednesday morning show off and rolling. Former Bison standout running back Barika Kpeenu will join us here in studio about a half hour. Get ready for the NFL draft. We're just over a week out from that. We'll talk with former Mustang coming up in a half hour. We're talking about a former Bison in a little bit. How about an incoming one, at least for the class of 2027 out of Watertown, South Dakota? Hunter Peterson, I believe he can announce here on our show that he's verbally committed to play football at North Dakota State. He joins us here this morning. I'll let the floor be yours, man. Congratulations. Tell us why NDSU was the place for you.
Yeah, so ever since I've gone up there, I just felt like it's been a fit every time. I love the coaches, facilities, and like the competitiveness they had. I think their mindset and approach is like pretty similar to mine.
You have been up here quite a bit, so people know your area. Was this something that was like when NDSU came in the mix, like, all right, that's going to be hard to beat? Tell me about that. Yeah,
so in Watertown, you know, there's a lot of SDSU guys here. So it was definitely, you know, like that. And so, yeah.
Knowing that obviously SDSU's around there, when the Bison came into the mix, how big a deal was that for you? And just did your radar go off like, all right, this is something to pay attention to?
Yeah, so I didn't really expect the offer right away at that second, but it was pretty big news for me and my family.
Describe this process. You know, we were visiting off air. I know this has been going on for a bit. What has this been like, and how early did this start?
Yeah, so they came to my school last year a couple times, and then this summer I went to their camp and had a good camp, productive. I had a productive junior year as well, and you know that just kind of led into the offer in October.
That surprised you, or what was your reaction when they offered you?
I was surprised. I was happy. I knew they had a lot of interest in me, and they've been talking to me for a while, so I figured it was coming sooner than later. But you know, I was excited. Excited.
You've been all around, man. You've had different visits. What was this like for people that were never going to experience it, myself included? What was this journey like over the last year and a half?
Yeah. So my sophomore year, we had a productive year and won a state title. So that got a lot of coaches to come to our school and stuff like that. So they wanted me to come to some camps in the summer, and so I did that. And then that led into some visits in the fall, game day visits, and then junior day visits in the summer or the winter.
Did it ever get overwhelming, Hunter? Like, man, this is a lot to deal with. I'm a junior in high school, and I'm on the phone probably every night.
Yeah, it does get pretty stressful sometimes, but you know, it's definitely part of it, and I love it.
So you're going to play tight end. We just saw some highlights of you up here. Describe you as a player out there, and what for Bison fans to expect when you get up here.
I think I'm a really physical guy. I love blocking. I'm a really physical blocker. When I get the ball in space, I'm hard to tackle, and like catching, I have soft hands. I can catch the ball.
I was watching a few of your highlight plays, which is on your huddle. You actually have blocking highlights, which is fantastic. Describe that, because I don't think that's what everybody wants to do. You want to catch the ball. You want to go stretch the field. How much do you love to block?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's definitely part of a tight end, and if you can't block, then you got to be able to block to play tight end.
I'm sure NDSU told you that as well. What was their evaluation, I guess, of you, and say, hey, if you're going to play up here, you're going to have to block?
Yeah, they like my physicalness. They like the style that I play, that I'm a good blocker, and just, stuff like that.
Tell us here now. You committed last night, so give me the lowdown on that. When you called NDSU and let them know, give us the background on how that went down.
So I called Larson first. I texted him earlier in the day and asked him if I could call him later, and he's like, "Yeah, of course." And so I asked him some questions and then told him, I'm ready to be a Bison. And he's like, "Right now, really?" So I was awesome. And then he's like, "You better call Coach Polasek." So I called Polasek, and he's like, asked him how he's doing. He's good, said good. And he's like, "I'm hoping to be better in 30 seconds." And, he knew it was coming. So that was nice. And then I called Shamir after, and he was just fired up.
Have this done. We were visiting a little bit off air. Is this relief, excitement, a little bit of both? What are the emotions this morning?
Yeah, it's definitely a relief off the shoulders. It's nice knowing that I found home.
Watertown's a familiar spot. That's Spencer Wagey's old school, as you well know. How big a deal is he in your hometown?
Oh, he's a big deal. I got to work with him a little my sophomore year when he was training for the NFL still, and I talked to him a lot. And he kept always asking me, "When are you going to commit? When are you going to commit?" So,
well, now you can tell him. Here you go. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
Describe the other schools out there. What this was like going seeing, and what were you looking for to say this is the place for me?
I wanted to see a couple other places and stuff like that, but they just didn't really compare to NDSU. The Fargo, the coaches, the culture, the history, just everything about NDSU just has always stood out to me.
I've asked the other commits of this class, when the Mountain West stuff happened, were you aware of it? How big a deal was that for you now that it's not FCS football, now it's FBS football that NDSU's playing? Yeah,
so I did hear about it that weekend, and then they announced it, which, just added to the seriousness of it. And I was all for it. I was ready. I was definitely for it.
So now that this is in, how does this change your summer? Were you planning on camping again and making a bunch more visits, or is this even when you thought you would do it?
Yeah, I had thought about doing some camps this summer, but now that I found home, I don't plan on doing anything like that.
So I got to ask, now that it's all lock and loaded, man, have you celebrated yet? Is that still to come, to go out, have a dinner, anything like that? Any plans like that?
Yeah, so we would have gone out tomorrow night, but I have a track meet, so we're going to go out Friday night and eat. So,
yeah. You mentioned it off the top. You're right in the heart of Jackrabbit country. What's the feedback been like? You expect that to be more angry as the days and weeks go on?
Yeah, a lot of people said I should go to SDSU over NDSU, but it was all ultimately up to me, and I found that NDSU is a better fit. How is that described? You're in there. Obviously, you live there. What is that like on a day-to-day basis? Wagey told me about it all the time. You live it. What is the SDSU-NDSU rivalry like in Watertown? Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like NDSU here. A lot of SDSU fans. There's some NDSU fans here that are definitely there. All right, before I know you got to get back to class, what's school been like so far today? Do people know? Did you tell anybody, or is this people finding out for the first time now? Yeah, this is the first time people know. I haven't told anyone. I haven't posted anything yet, so yeah. Well, I appreciate your breaking it here on the show. What do you think the reaction's going to be then when they find out? I think they kind of figured I would end up there, but that it's official, they'll be happy, I think. Well, I appreciate you breaking the news here on our show. Congratulations. Have a great rest of the track year, and stay healthy. We'll talk when football gets going, okay? Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate it. There he is, Hunter Peterson from Watertown, South Dakota. He is now commit number 11 for the Bison class of 2027. 6'3", 225-pound tight end for the Arrows of Watertown, which for any Bison fan of the more recent times, they certainly know that's Spencer Wagey's place. And Spencer, I think, I'll test my memory here, I think he was the first to commit of his particular class when he committed back in 2017, 2018. Gosh, I'm an old man now. And that was a big deal then, considering the amount of Jackrabbit fans there. Been to Watertown numerous times and know full well
The battle lines that are drawn there. Costner Ching was another that came out of that particular part of the world. In Castlewood, I want to say that, again, his dad played for the Jackrabbits. Jeff did. It was just lends to some great rivalry chat there. So Hunter is in. So that's now 11. You met Martin Sleen yesterday from Hermantown, and now they get a tight end. So they're humming here, folks. There was specific that Polisic had mentioned to us when he was last here in studio to talk about recruiting and how they were aiming at folks. Peterson had another offer as well from Air Force. So that, I believe, is the third or fourth commit that has had other Mountain West offers. We know the big lineman, Jack Tabbert, out of Wisconsin, out of Pewaukee, had a New Mexico and a couple other Mountain West offers. That, to me, is the intriguing part of seeing who else is offering these guys, specifically in the Mountain West Conference, going forward. Again, nothing is signed, sealed, and delivered. It's only a verbal commit here in April. Signing day is not till December, but the Bison are now well into double digits for the 2027 class and have gone back to South Dakota. And you look at the players that they have got out of South Dakota, you'd be hard-pressed to find a guy that wasn't a great player. In the Division I run, from Trevor Gebhardt, Preston Evans, Coulter Boyer, the Tuskas, the Zabel goes without saying, Wagey, Ching. I know I'm going to forget a guy here that's going to get mad at me here, but oh my gosh, Austin Cooner out of Sioux Falls. I mean, they've been, and the Jackrabbits, to their credit, have done a really good job of trying to cut the faucet off. Like, those guys are not going to go north anymore. And I know Tyler Roll, when he was still on staff, made it, I think, a personal mission of his that he was going to go into South Dakota and get 1 to 2 guys every year if they were good enough to come and play. So I have a feeling the coaching staff is probably feeling pretty good that they were able to go and do that here with Hunter. Appreciate his time. All right, we'll break. We come back. Bison men's basketball has started its portal edition. Chat about that and what the NCAA is discussing today on the 5 for 5 deal. It's coming up. We come back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Wrapping up our first hour. Our thanks to Hunter Peterson for giving us a few minutes there. That was good stuff. As the Bison are now into double digits on the class of 2026. A couple things here before we wrap up our first hour. Bison men's basketball has added its first portal player for next season. Caden Tate, you saw a video of him when we were going to break, out of Des Moines Area Community College, will be joining the Bison for next season with a couple years of eligibility. That is a proven place that has produced some good players, including one, Travion Carson, played there 2 years ago before coming and playing for the Bison last year. He was a second-team junior college All-American this past season for DMAC as they got back to the national tournament, finished 5th, averaged 10 points, 9 rebounds a game, 6'6". He's long. He was the defensive player of the year in his conference this past season. Tremendous rebounder, is really tough around the rim is what has been described. I believe he's going to join us on the show on Friday to chat about coming to NDSU. So that's the first edition for next season. Now, know this, the Bison are bringing in 5 freshmen, right? But they're still going to have to add at least 5 to 6 guys through the portal route, and Tate is the first. And this has been a proven route. I know people want to see the big drop-down guys from the Big Ten or the SEC come here, and that may happen, but more often than not, the guys that have worked out are the ones coming up from the junior college ranks, from the Division II, Division III ranks to finally get a shot and play. I don't think anybody would dispute that Travion Carson was not a home run. That was an absolute big deal. The Bison were able to get him, and he was fantastic. Became a first-team Summer League player. He's going to go make millions of dollars at whatever school ends up getting him out of the portal here in the not-too-distant future. That just was a great move there that the Bison were. And again, it it's a transactional world, is what David Richmond would tell you, and that's the way it works. So that's the first edition for NDSU's men's basketball class. We introduced you to the first women's basketball edition yesterday out of Fullerton. Also of note, Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports reporting the Division I cabinet is meeting again today. That's the group that next month is going to decide on NDSU's and Sacramento State's proposal to be immediately postseason eligible, to get rid of the deserving team rule that NDSU and Sac State moving up from the FCS to the FBS ranks, if they win 6 games, be bowl eligible and be eligible for their conference championships and, respectively, the college football playoff. Today, they are reviewing the proposal that we discussed over the last week now. We talked about it with Craig Bowl yesterday on the 5-for-5 rule. Dellinger reports the Division I cabinet did review the 5-year age-based eligibility concept during its meeting yesterday and will work on the concept will continue, sources tell Yahoo Sports. While hurdles remain, especially as to implementation, well, that sounds like the biggest hurdle, is how you make it work. There is serious consideration in adoption of the concept. Again, I think there is enough momentum out there that they want to make this happen, that it's gonna. The challenge is, can it be withstand legally? Because there's going to be some sort of legal challenges to it. Pete Thamel updating the NCAA D1 cabinet will hold a further discussion on age-based eligibility later today. The idea would essentially eliminate red shirts and give college athletes 5 years of eligibility starting when you graduate high school or when you turn 19, whichever is earlier. NCAA President Charlie Baker is scheduled to join the D1 cabinet call to discuss today. There will be no vote, as the next step would be writing an actual proposal of the rule. There is momentum for this, but the vexing part, love that word, vexing, is implementation and phasing in. The details that need to be figured out are significant. When would age-based eligibility start, and how would it transition in and be handled with current athletes? That's what we've been talking about. Would it be grandfathered in? Because if it isn't, then you're going to get legally challenged right away by the current group saying, well, wait a minute, we want an extra year. I played as a freshman. I'd love that extra year to play. So stay tuned. It's underway. Let's break. We come back. Former West Fargo Cheyenne and North Dakota State standout Barika Kpeenu joins us here in studio to chat about his outstanding career and what's next. The NFL is going to come calling next week. That's coming up. We start our second hour right after this.
This is Hot Mic. Hot Mic. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, ready to rock and roll here on this Hump Day Wednesday. This is our, I think, second or third week in a row we've had a former Bison football player in studio. Last week we had Truman Weremeyer here. This week, pretty pumped to have another local guy from West Fargo, North Dakota. One Barika Kpeenu joins us as we're a little week out from the NFL draft, and things are starting to get real. First off, great to see you. How you been?
I've been good. Thank you for having me on. It's been fun. It's been fun for sure.
So give people an update here. Season ends a lot earlier, I know, than you wanted to.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened with life after the last Bison football game.
It was more of an accelerated process that you thought I would have to deal with, but it was more so like figuring out what's next. Having my agent talk to me about certain steps I got to take and things that have to occur. So, I think just with going to train and the American Bowl and having a checklist of what to do was a lot closer than what I thought it would be at that moment. So
the season ends. You start working out. You were down in Minneapolis, you said,
sir,
right?
Yeah.
So give us the lowdown on the American Bowl. It was a brand new postseason game that came about this year. Mm-hmm. When did you find out, first off, that you got invited to that?
I think it was about, I don't know, I think it was after our last game. So we had our last game, and we were trying to figure out if I would be able to get into other bowl games. So I think the American Bowl was a spot, and then we were trying to get in the East-West. But the American Bowl was a perfect situation for me where I was able to talk to a variety of different scouts and stuff like that. So I'm just blessed to be able to do that.
Now, you went down there. It was great, but then it wasn't so great because you got hurt down there, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us what happened.
I think it's just one of them plays. I got tripped up by the ankle, and I thought it was like a high ankle sprain, but it turned out to be something else, and so it kind of affected how I went about during the training process. But overall, like I'm fully healthy now, and I'm great. So.
Would you say that not necessarily ruined the experience down there, or how did you feel about after you didn't get to do what you wanted to do on the field?
No, I think first off, like it's not meant for the game. I think per se, it's just more so for the talk to the scouts and stuff like that, because you got guys from all over trying to figure out and trying to play when they have all different type of schemes and stuff like that. So I wasn't really mad about the game. I think it's just more so talking to the scouts for sure.
So you get back for Pro Day. We saw you in March, and we were just visiting off air that you still weren't 100% yet. So how would you describe how Pro Day went in March?
I think honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's what happened, and I think I just gotta move on. And I think I've had great opportunities from that from there on. So. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and make an excuse about it, but I'm so blessed to be with the guys one last time. I think that's just an experience that I always cherish.
Yeah, what was that like, getting back out there with Cole, with Bryce, and everybody? Describe that experience for you?
It was kind of like, dang, this is like the last time we kind of be like in a huddle type deal, and I think that's so. I wasn't nervous at all. I think it was just like a thing where like, oh yeah, I'm with the guys. We're gonna try to show out, and we're gonna go from there. So it was good.
So on Monday, I'm on ESPN's website, and I read, looking at the draft risers, and I see your name on there. Mm-hmm. So what is your agent? What's your representation telling you as we're getting closer to the draft about your name being out there and potential what could happen next week?
I think it's just he's getting more phone calls, and I meet with more coaches, and especially with position coaches and stuff like that. And so right now he has me in a certain place. I think it's just a blessing, honestly. It's just a surreal, fun feeling. I don't think a lot of people expected this. If you from a year ago and being this, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't have expected this. So I'm just blessed, and I thank God for this opportunity I'm having for sure.
Would you have expected this a year ago if I would have asked you that about the NFL and the potential of playing professional football?
I think yes. I think I always never doubted myself. I think I've had. I mean, obviously you have your doubts, but I think I had the confidence that I think I can get to this place, and I think it's just a testament to the work and to people who trusted me to get where I'm at right now. So
this is one. This is anonymous running backs coach said on you. I take a flyer. He's strong, finishes runs, tough, and I'm sure you'll love this part. Will commit and pass protection. How big a deal was that? Because you weren't getting on the field here unless you were going to be able to block.
Yeah, I think that just shows how the 5 years, how much 5 years, and then. The commitment you have to take that next step to be able to be an all down back, every down back. So I think it's also from this, and also Coach Jerry. Like Coach Jerry, he helped me so much and simplified the game for me, where I was just able to play free. And I think I'm honestly jealous that those guys over there at NDSU got many more years to go with that, because he's such a great coach, and I think he helped dumb down the game for me for sure.
What changed, I guess, with Sam and working with you directly? Like, what was it that changed with either your style or how you played when he started coaching you?
I think it's just the ability to know that he played the position, he knows where you're at.
Yeah,
I think that plays a big part, and also he was a very successful, one of the greats at NDSU. So just having that, and he understands where you're coming from with certain runs and stuff like that. He just wants you to go full go, 100%. If you make a mistake, cool, move on to the next play. Yeah. And I think that brought me clarity, and it helped me with my confidence as the year went on. Like if I didn't make a good run, all right, what's the next down? Like how are we going to attack this? So it's just a next down mentality with him.
How much do you feel like you played like you weren't thinking about things? Is that pretty accurate then this past year?
Yeah. 100%.
You just were able to just go out there and like, all right, let's just go.
Yeah, and if every athlete, like, they're gonna have plays like where they be like, dang, I wish I could have that one back. But I feel like with him, it was like, all right, we trust in you, we believe in you, we gonna still ride with you. What can you do next?
So we visited, it was almost a month ago now on Pro Day. So tell us what the last month has been like. Has your phone been blowing up? Have you what have you been doing here the last 30 days?
Honestly, I've been just working out, trying to stay out the way. Don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. But I think it's just working out and being with family. I think that's helped me the most. And I haven't lived with my family since I left high school. So like, I'm even 20 minutes down the road, like, just being with them, and I think that it just restores me and it brings me like joy, just be able to be with my family again, because I took that for granted. And I think working out, and I'll be working out with Cole sometimes, and I just doing those little things to help.
I want to talk about that in our next segment about your mom and dad and your background here, because it's for people that don't know, it's an awesome story. So now this is almost here. Are you nervous, excited? What do you think the emotions for next week?
I think it is every emotion you could really picture, honestly. I'm excited, but I'm also anxious, but I'm also like, it's just a variety of emotions. But I think just for the opportunity and being able to get to that point, I think it's going to be such a surreal feeling just to be able to go with a team and know where I'm at, and just a sigh of relief. That's all over with.
Let me give you I'm sure you've got this question. If I'm an NFL team, what are you bringing? If we sign you, if we draft you, what do you bring into a team?
I think it's just how Bison culture is. Like every player knows how to work hard. That's no doubt, and I think that's just a testament to the success that NDSU's had over the course of the year. So I'm gonna be a hard worker. I think I'm gonna be able to bring a different sense of energy into a room. I feel like I'm a different type of person, but you get what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be different. Yeah. So like I'm not worried about how that's all gonna go down for sure.
If they told you, hey, we may need you special teams, I'm sure that's brought up. Yeah. What's your reaction hearing that?
I don't got okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like I've played special teams at NDSU, and I don't think that's a problem at all.
Did you have anything going through the training process that you were excited to do? The 40, everyone gets the glamour on that, but was that like your vertical? Was there anything you were really excited? Hey, I think this one is something I could test well at.
I think the bench press.
Yeah,
the bench press, and like that. I think lifting in terms of that was always pretty.
And you did 28, if I have that right, on Pro Day. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Was that what you thought, or you thought, hey, I could do probably some more?
No, I thought I was going to hit around like 25, to be honest. But the 3 more was just more onto it. But I think that was something I knew that I'll be doing well on. I think I just more so focused on everything else to test well.
It worked out okay. Describe your journey at NDSU. People knew you obviously from your high school days, and running back's attention is a spot that people pay a lot of attention to. What was when you got a sense like, okay, I think I understand what's going on. I can be a difference maker here.
So my journey to NDSU, I think, or at NDSU is a lot different. I don't think a lot of people understand what a person really goes through during the time. Yeah. I think Bryce could be a testament to that. Yep. Cole can be a testament to that, and I think also me, because obviously I didn't start until my last year. So I think that's just different. And then when you have that opportunity, you just gotta go show out and just leave it all on the table. You can't have no regrets. No one's feeling remorse for you. It's all about what you can do in that moment and how can you produce. So I think my journey was, very hard. Yeah. A lot of mind games, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else. It made me who I am right now. So
was there a guy when you got here, older guy that you looked up to right in the running back room? Was there one that say, who was that?
Kobe Johnson, Jalen Bussey, Tamarick Williams. I think those 3. Dom Ganella. I looked up to everybody to a certain extent, and I looked at how they played and all that type of stuff, and just try to pick and choose what I liked from each person's game. But I think I think all the older guys in that room were people I looked up
Bussy
to.
was just so bleeping fast.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
What was it like watching him in practice when you saw him for the first time? Like, oh, this guy can scoot.
I think I've seen a lot of it's just so crazy. Like, there's a couple. I mean, I see Christian Watson, Bryce Lance, and Jalen Bussy.
Yeah.
Like, those guys I've seen like in person run is just crazy.
Last thing here before we go to break. You got a few more minutes here to spend?
course,
Okay,
yeah.
we'll take a break and we'll talk a little bit on the good old high school days. This all coming about, you mentioned, I thought I'd be here, but now that it's actually here, have you thought about what the emotions will be like next week when you get the phone call, what that'll mean for you and your family?
I haven't really got to that far yet. I think I just try to be in the moment of this is one day at a time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure like it'll be some emotions for sure. Just be able to a childhood dream and be able to live that out. I think that's amazing.
Let's take a break. Much more. Barika Kpeenu joining us here in studio, chatting about the NFL draft coming up. When we come back, chat about the days with the old Cheyenne Mustangs. We'll do that here on a Wednesday morning edition of Hot Mic right after this. Back here. How about some old school? This doesn't look that old ago here. What do you think of watching number 2 scatting out there?
Bro, he had no clue in the world what he was doing.
This is senior year, if I remember correct here. You did a little bit of everything, man. It was kick returns. You were catching balls. You were running for. Tell me about high school football and what that experience was like playing at Cheyenne.
I took it for granted, for sure. I think at that age, you're just trying to figure out what's next. I'm trying to get some O's and all that type of stuff. Like, you don't really live in that moment where you're playing high school ball. Like, I think some people who don't play college sports, they always reminisce about high school ball and how things are. But, I think I would have soaked it in a lot bit more. For sure.
You guys had 2 really good years, got to Dakota Bowl both your junior and senior year. That was difficult how those games ended, especially for you personally. I mean, that's something that's still with you? I think I could see it in your face in some ways.
I just want to wish we scored a point in one of those state games. But, no, I think it was Cheyenne was such a new school.
Yeah.
At that time where, it was like we're moving. It was like a milestone for Cheyenne. So I think we got there, and the first year we was like, okay, we might not have. The second year we was like, okay, we can win this, but it didn't obviously go the way we wanted it to. So, I mean, it was definitely a milestone for that culture.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the first, and you were part of that.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be remembered forever. You guys were the first ones to make it to the Dakota Bowl, which I know it didn't go the way you wanted, but I distinctly remember calling those games, covering you guys. Like, this is a big. You guys had only been playing varsity football, I think, for 4 or 5 years, and you were there in the final.
Yeah. But I was talking to my brother. I think he won a state champ right when I left. So I was like, dang, shoot. But no, I think Cheyenne, what they're doing right now, they're on the come up with a lot of things, and they've been doing a great job.
So for people that don't know, football, it was going to be a different sport, obviously, for you. You had to tell your parents what American football was. Can you tell people about that, about what you wanted to do this, and telling your parents, like, hey, I'd like to go down this road?
I think, so I had a lot of friends play FM athletics, and how my family was, we weren't really fortunate early on. I think my parents had to really work hard for everything they had, and my dad, before he even got here from North Dakota, he had to work about 3 jobs, like riding a bike to work and everything like that, and he would tell me his story and everything like that. And so fast forward to 7th grade, I asked my mom, can I play football? And she was not on board with it, just because of how physical and how much people can get hurt. And I think I had to have other people's parents convince my mom to let me play football. So it was definitely hard at first, but as soon as they seen that I had an opportunity of getting school paid for and having an education, they're like, okay.
You mentioned about your dad that you were basically man of the house as well, because he was gone working. That you were trying to support things at home as well when he would be gone, right?
I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, My parents, they worked really hard shifts and really hard hours.
Yeah.
And so, like, there'd be at the times where, like, I had to look over my siblings and stuff like that. But I feel like every bit older sibling has that responsibility to look over the younger siblings for sure.
When did you yourself notice that you were good at it, at football? Like, hey, it's not necessarily coming easy to me, but I enjoy it, and I'm being told I'm pretty good at it.
I think probably sophomore year when I play some varsity.
Yeah.
And then junior year, I was like, okay, maybe I can play this in college. I think those were like kind of things. I think other teachers were like, do you know you can play in college? And I wasn't really thinking about it at the time, and they just brought it to my attention. And after that, I was just going after it.
How much down the road did you play soccer?
I didn't play soccer. Like, my dad, I guess, probably would have loved me playing soccer, but I didn't play soccer.
It was not your cup of tea? It was nothing you were interested in?
It was definitely basketball for sure.
Yes.
I was a really big basketball fan growing up.
Because I remember we saw you play hoops for some really good Cheyenne teams on the basketball floor as well. So Matt Entz was there, obviously, with your team because, obviously, his son was playing on Cheyenne. So how is that? Because the recruiting process was different because it was during COVID. So how much could he actually talk to you because he was actually at the games watching his son play?
Oh yeah. So like with him, it was I would say what's up to him or hi after every single game, and so he was there for every single game.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the other coaches, it was kind of very hard because like COVID during that time, everything was really through the phone, and we didn't really know what was next at that time. So I think everything was just more so on the phone.
If I remember right, and you tell the story because you lived it, that you had committed to NDSU about this time, right? It was about in April or May, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But the schools kept calling, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I think it was just more so it was getting closer to signing day.
Yeah.
I had schools asking me, Iowa State. There's a lot more D2s, and I didn't have a lot of D1s. It was just really those are the two main ones for real. So I think that was what occurred during that time.
What was Iowa State calling to say, hey, would you consider coming here?
Yeah, I don't know what connection. I think I talked to Zach Peters about this. He was one of the guys that worked here. He's at Northwestern.
Correct.
And I think they had some connection there. They're trying to get more North Dakota guys down to Iowa State.
Yeah.
And so I could have been one of the first over there, but I'm glad I sticked out at NDSU for sure.
What was that like? I mean, this is like the day before, a couple days before, they're calling and saying, we'd like you. I mean, how wild was that to process?
I mean, it was wild. I think my parents, everything I do with my parents, I got to make sure I talk to them first. And they're like, pray about it, see what happens. And I think I'm glad that I stuck it out.
So now let's fast forward. We were just visiting off air. Spring ball's going on right now, which I'm sure you don't miss that whatsoever, correct? Was that like on the list of things, like was that last of things you like to do? Summer workouts probably were last, right?
Summer workouts are pretty tough. Spring, compared to what I'm doing right now, it's a lot different. Waking up, them hours is tough. You look at it, you be like, bro, how do we do this for real? But I think I'm glad where I'm at right now.
Email comes in. Dom, can you ask Barika favorite or a couple of favorite runs? Are there ones that stand out? Like, boy, those were a couple of my favorites that you had. Anything that stands out when you ask you that?
They're NDSU?
Yeah. Anything that comes to mind?
I think the St. Thomas one. St. Thomas, and then the Illinois State. That run that comes to mind right away during the season. I think for high school, it's probably the one against Bismarck High. I caught a ball, and then I don't know why I cut across the whole field.
Yes,
but
we just saw there. That was pretty darn good.
Yeah, those are definitely my favorites.
One more asking. We were actually just talking about this off air to give us a scouting report on the running backs that are there now. Who could be the guys that step out in 2026?
I think all the guys there are very capable. I think each one brings a different level of talent to the field, and it's just about who's going to be able to mature and take that next step. I think that room is really wide open, and I think everyone's able to really do that.
Last thing, and I talked with Truman about this. When you heard the Mountain West stuff, you're like, "Come on!" Like, what was your reaction when you heard that was going to happen?
Man, right when we leave, like, like it was one of those things where like you hear about it, and you're like one of them rumors, like, "Oh, it's just another rumor that's going on." Like, it's not going to happen. It's far out. But then, like, I don't even know how long it was after the season. It happens. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But like, I'm happy for him. Like, I think this is what Bison Nation needs. Like, for like, they need new excitement. Like, they need because even at the last game, we didn't have nobody really at the game.
How tough was that? You're a player coming out there. You're a senior, and you saw that. What was that like to deal with?
I mean, at that time, like, you have that mentality. Okay, it's not gonna matter. Like, we're gonna win this game, move on to the next. But like, looking back on it, I'm like, okay, maybe if we had, more people, make it feel like a home experience, like a playoff game. Like, I grew up at NDSU during the playoffs, like during 22, like those games were crazy. I remember like going and the whole stadium's packed for a playoff game, not expecting taking it for granted. So I think this is just great for them. Like, they need new excitement, new rivalries, just something new. I think that's gonna bring fresh air to NDSU.
It's great to see you, man. Thanks so much for coming by. Congrats, and we'll be watching next week. And appreciate the time this morning, all right?
Appreciate it.
Barika Kpeenu joining us here in studio, West Fargo zone, former Bison running back. He'll be getting a phone call next week from somebody during the NFL draft. We'll break. We come back. Mayville State's got a new women's basketball coach. You'll meet her when we come back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Final half hour here on a busy Wednesday show. You missed the news yesterday. Mayville State has a new women's basketball head coach as the Comets are looking to get things going in their new league in the Frontier Conference. Jenna Bolstad has coached, I think, almost everywhere, and now she'll be coaching at Mayville State. Comes from Cleveland State and the Horizon League, where she was assistant there, and now takes over the Comets. And she joins us this morning to get grilled about going to Mayville. First, thanks for doing this. Tell us, congratulations. What was about this job that stood out? Say this would be a great to get back as a head coach again.
Thanks, Dom, for having me on. First off, super excited to be out here. Moved out to North Dakota just a day or so ago, so off and rolling. The opportunity to lead, the opportunity to build relationships with players, create a program. I think those are the biggest things that stood out to me taking the job. And again, the people around here. I mean, I've been here 2 days and I feel like I can't go anywhere right now. But again, news just broke, so that's part of it. But super excited to just be out here.
You were assistant coaching in D1 at Cleveland State. So it's one thing to be you've been a head coach before. So how much experience does that help when you've been the one to call a timeout late in the game?
Yeah, it's completely being the head coach, right? You're now making the moves, making the decisions. But different. But I feel like growing as an assistant at Cleveland State, at Northern Illinois, that Division I level, helped prepare me. Just the success, the level that we reached, those are big things. But again, just learning. I got an opportunity to learn from two great coaches at that level, and just every stop I've been at, I felt that I've tried to just grasp as much as I can. Like, it's like taking notes every time you do something and learn something new. Take it, you beg, borrow, and steal. So I'm not above that or below that or whatever. I'm stealing whatever I can, and just trying to learn. So those are big things that I learned when I was out there.
What did you find out about Mayville, or what are you finding out still about the culture of basketball? They love their basketball in that area. I'm sure that's readily apparent. You found that out. How appealing was that to you about this job?
Yeah, just the support, the success. I mean, when I came on my interview, meeting a couple of the boosters, everyone in town, I felt like I couldn't go anywhere. Actually, a funny story. I went down to the bar the night I was here, and I went to go grab something to drink and walk in, and one of the boosters was there. He's like, "Oh, come sit down," and I'm like, I got an interview tomorrow. He's like, oh no, come sit down with everyone. I'm like, okay, like, your small town back in that when that happens. But just they love their basketball, especially North Dakota, Minnesota, Montana. They all love their basketball and the high school success that's around here, and just trying to build a program.
Now it's this part of it's mid-April here. How much have you a chance to meet the returning team, and what was that interaction like so far?
Yeah, so I got in Monday at about 4:00. I had 3 of them help unload my car. It took about 5 minutes because, again, all my stuff is not here yet. So it'll be here next week. And then they went to weights, and I showed up about 15 minutes late to weights, met everyone, went to a booster club meeting that night, and then off and running yesterday. So we had weights again and did some open gym stuff. So the kids have been in and out of the office. I've been bouncing around campus and just different things, trying to meet people, trying to get my footing. And then I'm a big relationships person, so trying to just have the kids come in and tell me about yourself. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you're looking for. Tell me what you want to do academically. So that's just kind of where I'm headed.
For people that are going to wonder, Jenna, what would they see of what's typical traits of your team when you're out there playing? What can we expect from a team that you coach?
Yeah. Big thing is defense. I'm going to stress defense. In the Frontier, they're great teams in the Frontier. As you know, Montana Tech and Dakota State, your Carrolls, your Rockies. I mean, all those Montana teams are above and beyond. So coming in, it's going to stress defense. I mean, can you hold people? Can you limit possessions for people? And then connected play. I'm a big one on sharing the basketball, moving the ball, finding the open person, believing, instilling confidence. So that's going to be a couple big things, and we're starting to work on that right now. Just belief in yourself, belief that you can do it, and go from there.
Now, you coached at Montana Tech a while ago. Now with Mayville in, I mean, travel is crazy in this league. You've done the travel bit before, but is this like on steroids for what you're getting into?
This will be on steroids. Yeah, I'm excited that we have the opportunity to fly to all those Montana games. So, yeah, that'll be great. Limiting time on the bus because otherwise I think it's 16 hours out there to Dillon. It's about 24 hours on a bus. That's about 24 too many for me. No, but again, sometimes I'm like, oh, am I in the right profession when you get bus sick and different things? But it'll be good. Chance to fly out will be huge, and just cut down on kids missing class, us being able to get back and then practice, and just that wear and tear on the body that the bus brings.
I'm interested in your thoughts on the level of players around here from your recruiting experience in Minnesota, Iowa, certainly the Dakotas. What is the skill level that you see as a coach, and that we want to get those kind of players to Mayville?
Yeah, I think the basketball's high around here. Again, you have all the Dakotas, Iowa. You can even go into Wisconsin, Michigan. Yeah, just trying to find kids that want to fit here. I mean, again, Mayville, it's a smaller town. Can you find kids that love that? I mean, everyone I talk to, I mean, every kid I've talked to that's been here or that has gone here before, they love it. That small town feel, again, you can't go anywhere without knowing it. When I stopped at the grocery store this morning and someone's talking to me about it. So fun that way. But again, it's the right kind of kid, and you got to find those kids that want to be here. Again, I'm looking for high character kids, kids that want to do well academically, but then have a chance to play basketball and go and see where that takes you. I mean, I'm from a small town in Montana, and the places that basketball has taken me, I never would have thought, never would have dreamt. So
the level of players you want to get there, and you got to find a team still as well. We were just visiting a little bit off air. Describe the challenge. You're still getting your bearings with you, but okay, I got to finish out my roster here. What's the challenge like that?
Yeah, just trying to find kids. I mean, right now the portal's open, but the portal's crazy right now. Everyone thinks they're going Division I. All your high Division IIs think they're going Division I. All your Division IIs think, oh, I'm going Division I. I'm staying Division II, and I'm like, you didn't even play hardly. So, trying to find some of those fits and just kind of. I have to be patient. I have to wait. I'm not a patient person, so this is testing my patience, but we'll be okay. And then just, again, it's connecting with some high school coaches. It's connecting with those JUCO coaches, reestablishing those connections that I have around here, and hoping that, hey, someone can throw me a bone. Hey, let's give me a couple kids. Show me. Let me show you what I can do. Let me show you what I want to build. Again, it's going to be a building. It's going to be a learning curve for all of us, a growth curve for the program to get back to where it was. But I think it's doable. It's doable to get back in the top half of the conference, and just it's going to take some time.
I'm really glad you said what you said, because I'm interested in your thoughts on this, because right now I think I love the game, but college basketball is gross right now. You lived in the Division I ranks as well. What you see that on a day-to-day basis? How many players in your mind are just getting bad advice? They're getting spoken to with people who don't understand or are steering them in the wrong direction. How often did you see that?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got kids that think they're going to go get 40K and they average 2.2 points a game. And I'm like, where are you going? Like, what? Like, do you want to play? Do you want to sit the bench? Like, what do you want to do? So, again, I think it's money driven right now, which is very, very hard. I struggle with that. I'm a fit and feel person. I'm going to tell you, if you don't get a good feeling, don't come here. Like, if you can't see yourself being coached by me, don't come here. Like, but again, I don't have that luxury, here, Division I, you have that luxury a little bit more. You can be a little more choosy, things like that. But it's gross right now. I agree with you. The portal, the NIL stuff, it's all ugly. But again, that's the world we live in. And until something changes, it's going to be that way. And we just have to adapt and grow.
I know it's ugly on the men's side. Is it as bad on the women's side, or we just don't know about it?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't know how many numbers, like the portal opened last Monday, and there was like 24 hours in, there was 1,500 in the portal. And there was, I think, 1,700 the year before total.
Yeah.
So you already about surpassed that number. And I mean, what is there, 5,700 Division I spots total? Someone's not finding a home, and eventually you have to find that fit, and maybe that's a lower level. Maybe that's a JUCO, maybe that's, sitting somewhere else, but what does that look like for you? And can you get their correct advice from family members and things? But again, I think everyone's like, oh, you're so good. You can go play here. You can go do this. But what does that look like? And can you take a back seat? Can you accept a role? Can you be great at a role that you're given? But that's not the star of the show. I don't know.
Well, that's a great point, because to you, for taking over, how much do you value just honesty and being straight up with parents on a recruiting visit or on the player and say, this is where I envision you. If you work hard, you can get more. I mean, how blatant do you have to be on a visit, say, this is how it's going to be?
I try. I try so hard. I'm like, hey, we have a developmental roster, so a JV roster in a sense. And, that hinders me as well. You're finding out, look, where am I going to play? I don't know. I don't even know my roster. Like, I haven't even met my team. I haven't even watched them play yet, so trying to figure those ins and outs out about that. And, kids don't like that. But again, can you come in? I mean, you can go somewhere else that doesn't have a JV team and you're just going to sit the bench and not get any playing time. Whereas at least on a developmental roster, you can get some game time experience and hopefully develop a little bit more. And then, challenge of then navigating into that varsity roster spot and vying for playing time there.
So when you're done with me, what's on the to-do list? Like, what's 1, 2, and 3 after we're done here?
Probably some more portaling. I'm going to look for some kids. I know, just got a list of kids trying to go through and contact and get stuff that way. I mean, camps are a big thing for the summer, so trying to work some of those out. Trying to do a team camp, a little kids camp is the goal. Eventually a skills camp for high school kids, but that might be next year. I don't know if I can fit all that in my summer plans, but those are big ones. And again, having the kids stop in and out. I've seen a few walk by my window already right now, so they'll be in and around. But again, just trying to navigate day to day and do what I need to do to build the program.
Last thing, and I really appreciate you doing this morning, because I know you got a million things to do. Just excitement level of taking over, knowing you have all that, but just eventually, hey, you're going to play basketball, you're going to be out coaching. Describe your emotions on that.
Yeah, it was really nice getting in the gym yesterday. I can tell you my stress level decreased a heck of a lot more when I got into the weight room, into the gym. I was like, can I just stay in here for a while? Like, you forget all the ins and outs that coaches do outside of that. And really, you don't get to coach the X's and O's as much as you probably want to. But being in the gym yesterday was great and reminded me of why I love the game, why I want to coach, why I want to make an impact. So it was great to be in the gym yesterday just with the kids and hanging out and, seeing what I got, seeing if we can improve. Again, goal is 1% better every day. That's what I tried to tell them. Like, can we make strides? Can we just do little things every day to get better?
This was great. I really appreciate you doing this. Congratulations. We'll catch up once we get closer to basketball season, okay?
Awesome. Thanks, Dom. Appreciate you. Jenna
Bolstad, the new head coach of the Mayville State women, joining us here after she was announced yesterday, and the whirlwind began. takes over a team that obviously, when Dennis Hutter was there, had some great success, had long NAIA tournament runs to Sweet 16s, Elite 8s. Obviously, when Hutter left a couple years ago to take the assistant job at UND, they were okay, and then they hit rock bottom last year. They won one basketball game last year. And granted, they're in a new league in the Frontier with, I think there were 3 teams ranked at the end of the season, so competition level is tough, but that's a proud basketball community. They expect to be good. You look at the line of coaches that have come through Mayville, it's men's or women's. It's awfully impressive. So Jenna comes with plenty of experience, and I'll tip of the hat to Rocky Larson, their AD, who's also their head football coach, and we've had him on plenty with what they've done with football, which was god-awful, just to say it. In the last years of the North Star, they were not very good, to finally ending long losing streaks against Jamestown and Valley and Dickinson State, where now they're competitive, and now they're playing teams in California and Oregon and Arizona. There's some changing times going up in Mayville. We appreciate Jenna giving us a few minutes here this morning. All right, we'll take our final break. We come back, wrap things up. It is beautiful outside. It seems fitting to go play some softball today. We'll get you ready for that and a bunch of other stuff on Hot Mic Wraps right after this. All right, wrapping things up here on a Wednesday morning. Back with you tomorrow. Another action-packed show on tap. Looking forward to that for a couple of new guests we'll have on our show tomorrow. So make sure you join us then. Let's catch up. We got a few emails we have not got to here. We've been guest-heavy today, so appreciate that. Hi, Dom. Watching the show from Sioux Falls, but first-time emailer. First off, thank you for watching in Sioux Falls. I know we got a good support down there. I'm happy to see the Twins surprise us last year during their early success, probably during or shortly after that 13-game win streak in May. I bought into a full season of Twins TV, and of course, I found better things to watch in the second half of the season. So is the team trying to trick me into making that purchase yet again this year? Or should I go with a monthly plan to start? I'm going to hold out for now and probably just watch whatever happens to on-air on national broadcasts and streaming, but we shall see. Appreciate that first off, for watching us in Sioux Falls. It's awesome. I don't think you're off there at all. I know many that hopped in with both feet once the Twins won 13 games in a row last year, including our emailer here. And then by the time July came around, especially the trade deadline, I don't think they got much use out of that subscription in August and September. And that's where we're at. There's going to be more of that with the Wild and the Wolves, I think, next year as well, because their television broadcast homes are unknown currently, and I don't know if they're going to go over the air. Some teams have. Others have gone more of the direct-to-consumer route, the DTC route on that. Asking on the Twins here, I'd say let's hold out. It's April. That's what I'm trying to remind myself, because the Mets aren't very good right now, and they're going to get beat again by the Dodgers today, and they're going to be, 7-13 after that. I'm constantly trying to remind myself it's only April, because that's what my dad would tell me when I would always say, hey, look who's got a better record than the Mets or the Yankees right now. So that would be my long-winded response to that. By the way, speaking of streaming, Amazon sent out a statement about what happened last night. And this is not about the sound being ahead of the picture. It's like they literally went to technical difficulties in overtime. It said, quote, the broadcast of the Miami Heat at Charlotte Hornets experienced a temporary disruption due to a hardware failure in our production truck. Our teams restored the feed as quickly as possible to ensure fans could watch the conclusion of the game. We're conducting a thorough internal review to determine the cause of the outage. That's basically the production manager saying, what the bleep happened, and we can never have this happen again. For those of us that work in live sports and we've had instances like this happen, it's powerless. You are just like, can we get back on the air? We got to get back on the air. We got to get back on the air. And it's literally the worst feeling when we're doing this profession. It's not good. Let's do some What to Watch before we get out of here. What to watch brought to us by our friends at Northwestern Mutual. Speaking of live sports, we got some today for you. If you're looking for some softball, Bison are red hot here. They've won 4 in a row in Summer League play. St. Thomas for a double dip. First game at 2 o'clock up at Theraldson Park. You can watch it right here on WDAY Extra. Also going today, Red Sox and Twins. Minnesota goes for the sweep and a 9th win in 10 games. That's at noon on Twins TV. Night 2 of the play in the Warriors and Clippers. 9 o'clock on Amazon Prime. Winner gets the Suns. Stars and Sabres rematch 1999 Stanley Cup Final. I love that. 6 o'clock coming up on TNT. That's a look at Theraldson Park. We'll be up there later today as the Bison go for a sweep of St. Thomas. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody, on a busy Wednesday. Get out there and enjoy the beautiful weather. And we'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.